Three scrawny little snakes, yet they dared to dream of becoming dragons and ascending to immortality. But how could three tiny snakes ever become dragons? The story takes place in a remote, impoverished mountain village. Taking advantage of the Dragon King's moment of negligence, the three snakes secretly stole the incense offerings that the villagers had prepared for the Dragon King. In this world, incense offerings are a necessary condition for demons to ascend and become immortals. But a massive boulder had fallen from the sky, blocking the village's water source. That year, a terrible drought struck. The crops in the fields were on the verge of dying. The villagers offered the last of their remaining grain, praying for rain from the heavens. But their prayers went unanswered. The Dragon King never brought the rain. The desperate villagers felt they had been deceived. In their anger, they planned to tear down the temple when the three snakes came to steal the incense again. They happened to witness this dangerous moment. In order to keep feeding on the incense, they disguised themselves as the Dragon King's divine manifestation. They promised the villagers that rain would fall within 3 days. The villagers didn't dare truly turn against the gods, so they waited patiently. But the three snakes had no ability to summon rain at all. Driven by the need to survive, the eldest snake finally made a decision. They crossed mountains and hills. Using the most primitive method possible, they carried water by hand. Little by little, they tried to water the cracked and dried land. The work was exhausting, but as long as they gathered enough incense offerings, they believed they could eventually transform into dragons. However, these demons had never farmed before. They couldn't even tell the difference between crops and weeds. So all the water they had painstakingly carried ended up poured onto the weeds. The villagers laughed at them. The second snake wanted to give up, but the eldest believed that persistence was the only path to victory. So they came up with a new plan. They used the third snake's plump body to store water. Then from high ground, he sprayed the water from his mouth, creating a small local rainstorm for the villagers. The villagers were overjoyed. With the help of the three snakes, the crops were finally harvested successfully. A little girl happily brought them flowers. The villagers even held a grand ceremony for them. They rebuilt their golden statues. Nourished by the growing incense offerings, the snakes gradually began to grow arms and legs. They were only one step away from becoming dragons. But on the day of the ceremony, the real Dragon King became furious. His incense offerings had been stolen, so he decided to deliver divine punishment. The three snakes fled in panic. The village suffered as well. At that moment, the eldest snake suddenly had an epiphany. If they truly wanted to become immortals, they had to cherish this land, just as the villagers protected it. Without hesitation, the eldest snake walked out of the cave. Using his own body, he drew the lightning toward himself. The lightning shattered the massive boulder. In the end, he climbed to the top of the mountain and faced the majestic and terrifying true dragon. The Dragon King unleashed his most powerful lightning strike. It struck the humble thief and shattered the stubborn boulder once and for all. The villagers at the foot of the mountain witnessed everything. Clear spring water surged forth. The fires in the village were extinguished. Later, the villagers rebuilt the temple for them. The three little snakes slithered out of the shrine, and in the eyes of the villagers, they had already become true gods.